I got to revisit you one more time because everybody and their mama was blowing me up saying I cannot wait to hear what LeSean McCoy has to say. Were you at all surprised? What did Deion Sanders prove in this win over TCU?
First of all, I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, we're talking about Deion Sanders. We're talking about prime time. When have you ever seen him not be at the best?
Yeah.
Play at his best, coach at his best. I just love it. I think that this proves that he's for real. I think that Colorado and him as a coach, they're legit. They have legit players, right? One thing he said, look, I'm bringing my luggage.
Mm-hmm. And it's what?
Louis.
And it's Louis.
And you can see it. You can see all the special players they have. Look at the quarterback.
Yeah.
But look at Travis Hunter, right? Like, you see the talent there. And this is the first year.
Yep.
Imagine next year when he go out there and really recruit, get his players he wants, that fits his scheme, fits his defense, fits his offense. Mm-hmm. Sky's the limit for Colorado and Deion Sanders in this prime time and his team.
Joy, talk to me quickly because you obviously were watching this game very, very closely. What did prime prove to you?
Well, his greatness translates.
Yep.
That doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's actually difficult for someone to be able to influence others with their greatness. It's not received. It's not communicated properly. Mm-hmm. Deion does. He brings greatness, and he rises. He brings the water. You got the thing.
Rising tide
floats all boats. That one. That's one. That's why he's the guy. He did it against a team that was in the national championship last year. That's not a small thing. Everyone's going to immediately run to, well, TCU wasn't that good. And they're not. But they were in the national championship last year. And if they had won this game, everyone would have said that to their benefit. So it is important that they beat TCU, a team that was in the national championship last year. Him flipping the roster over, while controversial, was the right thing to do. We know that in this sport, you need talent, you need recruiting. And he brought in a new situation, and it translated. And Travis Hunter went straight to the top of the Heisman conversation, as he should, and you're not going to win games against teams like TCU without a player of that talent who's there because of Deion. And the last thing he proved to me, not that he proved to me, I already knew this, but I think what he proved to everyone else is he's a legitimate coach. I think because he is prime, and we're gonna do a couple rounds on this, but I'm here already. Sometimes people just don't want to believe you could be great at multiple things. Yeah. They don't want to give you that credit. We know Deion as a player. We know primetime. We know what he accomplished in the NFL. But it's hard for people to imagine him being that good or be on the journey to be that good as a coach.
I could not predict that this was going to happen. And the reason I couldn't predict, honestly, that this was going to happen is because I didn't have enough information. Oftentimes on this show, we're opinionists, but oftentimes we're analysts. And when I was analyzing the data I had, I realized I had an inconclusive data set to actually tell you all, like Shady said with a ton of confidence, Colorado will win this game. But what was proven to me is, number one, they have the players. And number two, they have the coaches. The first drive, TCU, 3 and out. That's what they preach. Shady, you know, we were in the locker rooms together. Hey, defense, go 3 and out. Offense, go down the field and score. It sounds great in a pregame speech. It rarely ever happens. Colorado, defense, went 3 and out. Offense went 14 plays down the field, instantly scored. But then I was thinking to myself, how in the world, how are they going to be able to properly utilize Travis Hunter? Number 1 overall recruit out of high school. Can play offense, can play defense. But they utilized him masterfully. 11 catches, 118 yards, but they kept enough energy for him to also be a competent contributor on defense. An interception after TCU would march 95 yards down the field. Do you know how in tune you have to be with your players to know just how much to give them without making them go overboard?
No doubt.
The coaching, James Jones, for me, it was truly astronomical. Later on in the show, I'll bring out the iPad, I'll break down some film and really show y'all what blew my mind. But Jay, what blew yours? What did Deion prove in the upset win?
I didn't watch the game. What happened? No. Listen, I sat on this show and I said, listen, I just want to see Coach Prime and them boys go out there and compete, right? I do not expect them to beat TCU. I just want to see them compete. Well, Colorado and Deion said, JJ, shut up. We got this. We're going to go out there and show what you do. But for me, when you watch this game, number one, everybody was questioning it except Shady because you have Division I players in black college football. You should win. You should change a program when you have those type players wanting to come play for you in black college. Travis Hunter, number 1 overall recruit and all that, right? You just have clearly better players, right? So that was the question coming in here. We all looking like this is a rebuild team. He brought his luggage, it's Louis, but it's rebuild. TCU was in the national championship last year, right? So it's like, can Deion get it done on this level, Division I level? Playing one of the best teams in the country his very first week. And he proved, like Joy said, he's a really good football coach. He has really good players. And you know what surprised me most is the trenches, especially on the offensive side of the ball. If you watch Sanders back there standing in the, he got all day. And that was another question mark about this football team. Can they build the trenches? We know they got the skills. Can they build the trenches? And he showed, man, that, hey, we here.
The best thing I like about it is that we all talk about Coach Prime, and he's doing a great job. But if you look at that roster, they got a lot of NFL coaches that I played with. So, the best part, I just think if I was a high school kid and I could do it all over again, right? Who wouldn't want to play for Deion Sanders, right? Somebody that you idolize as an icon, as what he was as a player. Now I can learn from him. I could get all the tricks. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the NFL coaches there. Then the crazy thing is, at practice, you got guys like Warren Sapp coming in there talking to you. Think about that. And I'm going to go up there and talk to the running backs.
Joy, let me ask you this. What do you think a win like that in your mind? You have two nephews, I believe, that are currently playing Division I football. Your brother's currently coaching Division I football. What does a win like that in your mind do for recruiting, do for Colorado, do for just the landscape of crime?
My goodness.
I mean, it's everything. This was, like Shay said, this is just the beginning. This is going to be a long season. We're going to see how it all goes. But to come out with all these question marks, with all the controversy that was around Deion for leaving HBCU to go to this level, and whether it was going to translate, and whether it was the right thing to do, and how it was all going to look, it legitimizes the entire situation. And now, us talking about it, everyone talking about it, it trending the way that it was, and them really looking, this wasn't just a fluke.
No.
That's what is really important about this game. TCU was in the national championship last year. Whatever they are this year doesn't matter. That's where they were at the end of last year. You come in against a team like that with all the questions that you have and go pound for pound, blow for blow with this team.
On the road.
On the road.
Yeah, on the road.
And finish the game off and finish the job.
Incredible.
It can't be understated how big of a deal it is.
Let me tell you
not
something.
just for the school, but for Prime.
Let me tell you something, though. No coach in college football wanted to see Deion get this one done.
They did.
True.
Nobody. Like, from what we've seen on Saturday, it is over for all these. And I'm not saying he's going to the national championship this year, next year, but it's over. That's all these recruits, everybody needed to see. Can Deion win? We know we would love to play for Deion. We know Deion got fire cleats. We know Deion bringing in all these NFL players, NFL coaches and all that. But can he win? Now that they have seen what Deion has done, it's over for college football.
That's the same thing as like if I said the best coach is probably be Nick Saban. Why would you want to play for Nick Saban? The first thing I'm going to say is, well, his experience. He has these championships. If I say, why would you want to play for Deion Sanders? Because I can relate to him. We came from the same environments as a player, et cetera. So he's going to get so many recruits because of that part. Think about that. Like, I play for Deion Sanders.
They know it's changed around, too.
Shady, you and I got to spend about an hour, maybe 30 to 45 minutes with Deion. We were at the Super Bowl, and we got to spend roughly 30 to 45 minutes with Deion, and I really want to highlight this. Deion Sanders, he has a gravitational pull of excellence. People ask, well, what makes Deion so special? He has a gravitational pull of excellence, if you will, because whenever you're around Deion, you have to be on your best behavior athletically, emotionally, intellectually, whatever the case may be, because he's excellent. And when excellence is around you, it draws that excellence out of you. Shady and I were in a conversation with Deion during the course of the Super Bowl. I was just supposed to be a guest on Shady's show. I was not supposed to be hosting the show. Deion showed up, and all of a sudden, I sat up straight and I said, you know what? It's time for me to start hosting. Because it's time for me to be excellent. I was chilling. I was in a full sweatsuit. I was relaxing. But then when Prime showed up, I sat up. Because excellence begets excellence. And what Deion has done for this Colorado program, for these Colorado players, for this Colorado organization, is he has made them become excellent because he is excellent. And so when you talk about it, Shady Joy, when you talk about it, Jay, when you talk about it, I just wanted to highlight it with my own personal anecdotal story because I've been there. You and I have been there. Chilling, and Deion showed up, and it was time to wake up.
And I actually known Deion for years. I remember when I first met him, I was so excited, like, whoa, I just met Deion Sanders. And then he was looking at me like, this is Shady McCoy. So we kind of built a relationship. And one thing about Deion I love is that he embraces everybody. Like, he knows who he is. He knows he's a big name, a big personality, but he brings everybody together. And when I look at him as a coach, talk about, do you believe? Do you believe? And it's basically saying, like, listen, I know what they're saying about us. I know what they think about me. He's a different type of coach. He don't look the same. If you turn on the channel, you look at all the head coaches in college. They don't look like Deion Sanders.
No.
They don't look like Coach Prime. They don't talk like him. They don't walk like him. And he brings that swagger and it makes people uncomfortable. But as a player, you love that. And that's one thing I loved about him when I met him is just that he's comfortable being himself with his swagger, the way he talks, and he brings a lot of love. And you can see it. His players, even when the guys from Jackson State, they all talk about how much they love Coach Prime. And even now in Colorado, they doing the same thing.
And that's something as a coach you can't teach, right? It's
can't teach that.
It's some dudes that's blessed to be coaches. It's some dudes that just... It ain't too many dudes got what Deion got. I had the opportunity to work with Deion at the NFL Network for years, right? And when you walked into meetings, right, it was just the expectation, right? And the confidence was contagious. And when you look at Deion right now, I don't care if he on TV, I don't care if he coaching, I don't care if he playing, the confidence is contagious. And that's what went through his football team. That's what he did when he played. That's what he did when he was on TV.
And all of that is important, but I don't want to discredit the fact that they're a good team.
They are.
Like, confidence is important, swagger is important, playing with a chip on your shoulder, being around excellence, all of that is great, but you can't make an average player great based off of all that. You can make a good player great, you can make a great player legendary, but you can't change the talent level that someone has. He brought in high-level talents.
Yes, he did.
They were coached well. They responded to adversity throughout the game, being down, coming back, finishing the game, playing well in the trenches. So all-encompassing, all of that is definitely what he brings, but they were coached well and they beat a legitimate team in TCU.
And real quick, we got to give a lot of credit to Travis Hunter. Like,
yeah, he different.
I played the game for a long time, bro. I was thinking about, he played at, what, 144 snaps? You know how crazy that is? First of all, this is how special he is. I got to play corner, right? And if you watch the game, they play a lot of man coverage, a lot of following, a lot of running. Okay, they punt the ball, cool. I get a break for one play. Now I'm going on offense, and I'm the #1 receiver, running go routes. To be in shape like that, and Chip Kelly offense, we always want to get like 100 plays a game, right? And I would be tired.
No doubt.
Imagine playing both sides of the ball. That's one part to be in shape. What about how smart he is? Okay, so I got to know all the defensive coverages. Okay, adjustments. Okay, now I go over and offense, wide receiver. I know all the different adjustments there. Like, this kid is special, bro. And he reminds me of like that Chris Gamble, that Charles Woodson.
Ohio State,
He's
Michigan.
in that. What's the kid from Michigan? The safety, Peppers.
Jabril.
Jabril, like kind of a little bit of that. Like, you can put him anywhere.
But they not doing what Travis is doing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm just saying it's special to watch.
No, what I'm saying is Travis is playing starting offense. Like, it ain't splash plays. Go get a reverse, Charles Woodson. It ain't that. Even Deion and Cotton, he is playing offense. And for me, it's so special because you sit in the offensive meetings where all the stuff you got to know, while the defense is in another meeting going over all the stuff you got to know. So for me to be in a defensive meeting, sitting there like, yep, I know everything the offense is.
How do you think he does that, though? Think about that. Because
I was listening to Prime gave an interview earlier today on Undisputed with Skip Bayless, Michael Irvin, amongst others, and he said that he did not practice Travis Hunter over the course of the week. He didn't practice him until Friday before the game versus TCU. I've never heard of that at the collegiate level. At the pro level, obviously. Pros, they sit, they don't play until Thursday, Friday before the game.
After year 7, I ain't played.
Of course.
I ain't practiced until Friday.
But Shady said year 7 in the National Football League. Travis Hunter is in year 2 in college. But let me put in context before we take you all to break. Travis Hunter's 144 snaps, more than Georgia, Florida State, Texas, Alabama, USC, and Ohio State. Travis Hunter individually played more snaps than those teams played collectively. Mind-boggling.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.